Welcome everyone, my name is V, I'm the founder of Mingle Co. Today we have a special guest, we have Paige Carter. She's from Inclusive Oak, and she's an advocate for mums.
Mums who have children with disabilities.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So like you said, my name's Paige. I'm the owner of Inclusive Oak. I've been in the disability sector since I was 18.
Wow.
But I kind of just fell in it.
Yeah.
I had all intentions of being a social worker who worked with refugees.
Wow.
And then my husband, well, now husband, he was my boyfriend back then, we've been together since high school. He went on a camp in year 12 with kids with disabilities and he absolutely loved it. And he came home and he said to me, you'll love this, let's go together. So I went on it and I loved it. Like, I didn't really think it was going to be my thing, but it was. I loved it so much. So I went and they offered me a job on camp and I never left the sector. And then, fast forward a number of years, I had my daughter. I worked in all different kind of sectors, all different parts of the sector, sorry.
Yeah.
I was a team leader, I worked as a support worker, I did camps, I even worked in an office. I just kind of tried everything and loved it. Then my son was born. And right from my pregnancy with him, things were really difficult. They thought that he was going to have Down syndrome. So we kind of just prepared for having a child with a disability. But even when I was pregnant, I used to say, I don't think he has Down syndrome, I think he's going to be autistic. And well, here we are. Spoiler, he is autistic.
Yeah.
And now
How did that
I know...
feel for you though, like knowing at that time? Did you, because you would get the ultrasound at the 3 months and they said...
they said that, they think that he's got Down syndrome. And that it was hard at first, but I think having worked in disability for so long prior, it just made me really it's okay. Even if he has a disability, our life will be okay, and we know how to look after him, and it's okay. We're very accepting of disabilities. So I often think now that the universe kind of just threw me into disability because they knew later in life I would need it when my husband and I had our own kids. So kind of fast forward through everything, he was born and he didn't have Down syndrome, but he does have a genetic chronic pain disorder called Caffey's disease. It's very rare. And then I was saying to them right from the get-go, I think he's autistic, and they kept saying to me, he's too young, we couldn't tell, blah, blah, blah.
And what made you think that he was autistic?
He was very developmentally delayed right from the get-go. We used to go into shopping centres or go into somewhere that was busy and he would cry. Or he would do this in front of his face, make movements in front of his face, and he'd do it with his feet as well. And it was he'd just be mesmerised by that. And it was a distraction for him. It was regulating. He used to cover his ears right from when he was a baby, and there was just little things that I was and I think because I'd already thought it when I was pregnant, probably I was looking for these things. But and then socially, as he got a bit bigger, he really struggled socially. He was very aggressive right from when he was really little. He didn't like other kids in his space. He would not share anything. Childcare was a failure because that environment was too busy for him. And as we kind of progressed, eventually at 18 months old, his doctors came on board and they said, oh, okay, we think he's autistic, let's get him assessed. So we did. He was diagnosed autistic level 3, developmentally delayed, and then eventually ADHD and epilepsy. And along all of this journey, I just thought, wow, I have all of this experience in the disability sector and I'm still lost. I still have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Sorry. Yeah. But that's... How can I have 8 years in the sector and still not understand this?
Is that as well talking about the NDIS?
The NDIS, everything, all of it, the medical system, the NDIS, the navigating therapies and all of it, everything. It just blew my mind how different it is to be a mum of a neurodivergent child compared to working with children with disabilities. It's just so different. I honestly feel especially now, that I go to work and I put my work hat on and I know what to do, but when Oakland does it, I don't know what to do. Like my whole being freezes and I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's so different that I know I can do it. I'm more than capable of it. I can do it. I've done it with hundreds of people, but I can't necessarily cope with doing it for my son.
Yeah.
Or I find it overwhelming.
Yeah, interesting you said that, because now that you're talking about that, I remember my son's first meltdown would have been just after a year or before 18 months.
Yeah.
And when I saw the meltdown, I was like, I've seen autistic people have these meltdowns. I was like, what do I do? I didn't know how to deal with my son having a massive meltdown.
Yeah.
And when I told other people about it, they're like, oh no, you just have to give him a cold shower or do. And I was like, no, that's not what he needed at that time.
No.
But at that point, I didn't know how do I make him feel better? How do I make him feel safe?
Yeah.
I was like, I just looked at him like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
Like I have, but not in your child.
Yeah, when you see it in your child, it's totally different.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's how I created my business, Inclusive Oaks. I thought, if I'm lost and I've got all this experience, how do mums feel who've never had anything to do with disability in their whole life, and then all of a sudden they have this child with a disability?
Yeah.
Like, how do they cope? How do they do this? Like, I'm lost. How do they do this? So it kind of all started from there. And
how long ago did you start Inclusive Oak?
Before it was Inclusive Oak, it was actually called Oak for Autism, and that was just a social media page where I just shared our journey.
Okay.
So that grew really quickly. It was I loved it. It was like my outlet. And then more and more people were contacting me and wanting support, and I just thought I really could make a business out of this and be able to put more into it.
Yeah.
Because when it was, just my blog, I couldn't kind of help them the way that I wanted to, right? So that was back. That would have been 4 years ago when I started Oak for Autism. And then Inclusive Oak has been here for, I would say, maybe 2.5 years.
Okay.
And I've done lots of things with Inclusive Oak, but now I feel like I've really found my niche with my membership, Empower Her. So
what is Empower Her? Like, is that part of Inclusive Oak?
It's part of Inclusive Oak. It's the membership under Inclusive Oak. So it's a membership for mums of neurodivergent children, where you can come and feel part of a community. We have Facebook group chats. We have Messenger, where we all come together and chat. We do monthly Zoom calls together. We do monthly coffee catch-ups. Just this Friday night we went out for dinner together. It's just a really nice place to come and feel part of a community. And then I help you form connections as well. So I'll have therapists come in and do monthly masterclasses to connect you with other therapists that could help you around the community. But then also I find you connect with other mums, right? Often that's the most helpful connections that you can have with other people who truly get it, who've gone through it. And then the education side of it, which is again provided through the masterclasses, where the therapists come in, they kind of educate. Each month is on a different topic. So we've had topics such as physio come in and talk about like gross motor skills, fine motor skills. We've had what have we had? We've had a neurodivergent therapist, Joe Hatchard. Come and do a masterclass on how to accept neurodivergence. This month in July, we've got someone coming in to talk about trauma and how to help your child through trauma. Just every month is a different topic.
And are these online sessions?
They are. They're done via Zoom, but I record them and then I always post them on a portal. So I've got a portal with lots of educational content on there, and they go up onto there. And then I also do one-on-one sessions. So there's 3 different joining options in my membership. So one of them you just get like the portal, the Facebook group, and the masterclasses. And then the second option you get that plus a one-on-one with me once a month. And the third option you get a one-on-one and voice drop coaching for the month. So and it's just a really nice way to connect families, to not feel so alone, and to get advice and to ask for help and to learn and grow together.
I feel like that's really important. I'm a mum of a recently diagnosed neurodivergent child, or a 4-year-old, and having conversations with, just another neurodivergent mum and giving, tips or just being understood.
Yeah.
Where you're not dismissed or you're like, oh, you're just putting a label on it, or, just those comments just don't, you just feel
so
like
irritating.
you're just invisible and...
It's isolating, right?
Yeah.
It just makes you feel more alone than you already are.
Yeah, so I think having that space or just having those conversations with another mum is so important.
Yeah.
And just...
It's the most valuable thing.
Yeah, I think that is, what you're bringing is very important.
Thank you.
To create that community or just to catch up or I just want to talk to another neurodivergent mum who can give me another tip or just listen to me and understand me.
Or when I say that my child did this, they're not going to look at me like I'm a weird person or that's strange. They're going to be like, oh, my child used to do that.
Yeah.
And good luck. It's just so comforting talking to someone who gets it.
Yeah. Can you describe some of the advocacy work that you do?
Of course. So since owning my own business, I've had, or even just since having Oak Autism that then turned into Inclusive Oak, I've had thousands upon thousands of messages and conversations with people who are failed by the different systems that neurodivergent families have to access, such as NDIS, education, medical, those are the top three.
Yeah.
And as I learned to really navigate them myself, I just learned that it's not okay. Mm-hmm. All these things that happen within these systems are not okay, and that we really should stand up to these systems because they're so broken and outdated and just failing our children and our families. Yeah. So lately, in particular, some advocacy work that I've been doing is with the education department. So my son is 6, nearly 7, and he only attends school 3 days a week for 90 minutes.
Wow.
Because the education system just does not provide anything that's suitable for him. He's not...
does he get like an SSO?
He does. He has full-time SSO support and it's still not right for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't qualify for special ed, and we did try and go and have a look at a special ed option, but it's not right for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit there,
but
then he doesn't really fit into mainstream either because the environment isn't right for him.
Yeah.
So a lot of the advocacy work I've been doing at the moment is to show that there's nothing for our children who I say sit in the grey area, where they don't fit into mainstream, but they don't fit into special ed. There's this grey area where there's nothing for them.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a lot of work to try and change that for our children. A lot of it's included reels and social media posts, but I also sent a letter to Emily Burke and the Education Department and Peter Malinauskas because I believe that they promised change for the autistic community, and I don't believe they've delivered it. Mm-hmm. So,
what improvements, if you could have the meeting now or conversation, because they haven't contacted you for a meeting yet? Or?
So I've had conversations since. So it took them a really long time to contact me, and it wasn't until that I was announced to be on the radio that they contacted me. So it wasn't sincere. They didn't contact me because they really wanted to help. Yeah. They contacted me because they went, oh shit, she's on the media.
Yeah.
So I did send a letter, and in that letter I gave them 14 days to respond, and they didn't. Mm-hmm. It was on the 26th day that they responded, and that's when I was going on the radio.
Yeah.
So I've I've got this community around me who have been failed time and time again by the education system. So I'm just kind of finding, help in numbers, right? Where that's where the power is.
Yeah.
So I have an advocacy page on my website now where people can go and submit their stories, and the more submissions I get there, the more proof I have that how many families are being failed, and then I can go to them and say, look, you can't deny this. I mean, they can't deny it anyway. Back in their campaign at the beginning, they met with thousands of families, and they've heard all these stories, and they've still chosen not to do anything about it. However, I think what the problem is that no one's held them accountable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm determined to hold them accountable because what's happening to our children is not okay. No,
absolutely not. What improvements would you like to see? Like within the next 6 months, if you could, be that fairy godmother, or if we could have those spaces where you do feel that you are listened to?
Yeah. So within the next 6 months, I guess that's hard because it's not a very big time frame, but the ultimate ideal outcome is for our children to have classrooms within mainstream schools that are designed for our kids who sit in the grey area. And they're like autism-specific classrooms.
Yeah.
So they're smaller in size. They're just like special options classrooms, which are, they only have 8 kids in them. They have a teacher and an SSO. So the same thing for our autistic kids, but these, like how you qualify to be in this classroom is different to whether you like being in a special ed class. It's based on behaviour and how they enjoy school and probably their academics a little bit, but not so much. It's more about their sensory needs and adapting that for them. And I still think it's important for them to be in mainstream schools because a lot of our kids, I can speak for my son, he loves socialising with the mainstream kids. So I think taking that away from them is really sad. But just giving them a place to learn, in class time that's more suited to their needs will just be so beneficial for our kids.
Because there's so many kids that have been homeschooled.
Oh yeah,
pulled out because
thousands of children because the education department have failed. Some of the stories I have are horrific, like absolutely horrific.
That's terrible. I think something needs to be done now. The education system's very outdated. It's like if you don't fit that box, well, you go here. If you don't fit that box, but everyone is so different.
You have to fit in one of the 2 boxes, and if you don't, well, then there's nowhere for you to homeschool. But a lot of families don't want to homeschool; they're forced into homeschooling.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you handle misinformation or stigma around autism, or have you encountered that?
Oh, lots of times. You get the old grannies saying to you, "Oh, this didn't exist in my day," or you get the some people saying to you, "Oh, they just need a smack," or "You just need to be harder on them," or when your child's having a meltdown in the street, they say, or they don't even have to say anything. They can just when they're walking past, they just the way that they look at you, judgment. So I'm quite forthcoming with that now, and I'll just say to them, if you don't have anything nice to say, if you can't contribute to this, just please don't comment. Autism did exist in your day, but people suffered. People suffered because they had to mask because it wasn't accepted. It wasn't that it didn't exist; it was that it wasn't accepted. And then when people comment about Wilkins' behaviour and how I should deal with it.
So you've actually been taught verbally?
Oh, yes,
really?
multiple times.
Wow.
And
I'm not laughing, it's like the audacity to that.
Yeah.
Because my son has had meltdowns in, public places, and I'm just, if he's on the floor, I'm down on the floor with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I have that face where you better not tell me anything.
Yes.
Or it's on.
I'm
taking it out on you.
I'm trying to think of how to say it nicely because, when people do that to me, it's on. I'm like, no,
shut the fuck up.
Let's go. You want to do this? Let's go. But a place where I've really experienced it, where it's been hard, is within the hospitals. So I had one nurse, I'll never forget this, and I just, oh my God, did I let her have it. We were trying to sedate Oakland for a, I don't even remember what it was for. He's had that many, it was for a medical procedure. And I was trying to give it to him, and he was very adverse to taking this medicine back then. And I was trying for so long, and she looked at me and she said, "Can't you just try harder?"
Wow.
Oh my God. I just looked at her and I said, "Can't you just not be a stupid bitch? Like, are you for real? Like, you do it. You show me. If you can do it, if you think that it's just so easy, here, take it and do it." He spat it in her face.
Wow.
Like, what do you want me to do? Like, why can't you just be kind? It's not as if I'm just sitting here not even trying to get him to take it. Why do you have to be so horrible and make me feel like we're just not doing enough when you can clearly see that I'm trying my best? Like, are you for real? And I just made complaints. I made really big complaints. I probably, sometimes you do just lose your temper, which probably you shouldn't, but it's not like they push you and they make you feel like the worst person in the world that's not trying, when clearly you try. We have to try harder than most parents, right? Like the stuff that we deal with and how hard some things can be, we try harder than anybody. Like, why do people have to make us feel like we're not trying? And it's just so infuriating.
Yeah. I think it's as well as the awareness or education, and obviously the not understanding. Because if you haven't been in that position, you would really never understand.
But it's just, you think that like nurses working in this field where you're working with children that are being sedated, that you would have some kind of understanding of how difficult these things are. Like she could have come and like just pat me on the shoulder and said, how can I help? What can we do to make this easier? Instead of just, can't you try harder?
Yeah.
I will never forget that.
Yeah.
And this is something that I say all the time. I say, when you say something awful to a mum of a neurodivergent child, you've forgotten about that in 5 minutes. But for us, it stays with us for a really long time. Like this comment was probably 3.5 years ago, and I still remember. I can still picture it. Like I literally can see. I can feel it. Like it still makes me angry. I can feel it. So why do you, like that's gone for that lady. She'll never remember that again. But for me and my family, it stays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like it's just
terrible.
But the reason I do what I do, and I feel really sad, is for the families whose mum, like the parents don't have it in them to stand up to these people and advocate, and their child and them, they suffer because they just follow the system and the system's broken.
Yeah, that's very, very sad. But it's good that we have you as an advocate and providing all this information.
Yeah, so not like people do come to me with these things, and then I'll just kind of help them navigate it and fix it.
And leading to another question because of this, how do you, because everyone would come to you and you're hearing all these stories, how do you deal with, with your own mental health or your emotional, or how you're feeling emotionally when you get, all these stories, or, as an advocate, you feel like, you have to be strong for them. How do you deal with that?
So I feel like a lot of the time, like sometimes if things get too much, I will just go quiet for a little while. I might not be as aggressive in my advocacy, like online, or my presence online might not be as much. Yeah. And that generally just means that I'm taking time to process things that have happened. Yeah. And I also I like to journal. I like to go for walks, and just kind of going back to that. I know it's cliche and you just cringe when people say this, but I go back to that, like self-care. Like, what can I do for me to kind of, I guess, block this out for a little while and give myself time to process it and then move forward.
That's great. Yeah. I think that's very important because I didn't feel like it was cringy when you said that. I think it is important as neurodivergent mums as well. We need that. Like, I take that space. Like, I burnt out a few months ago and I couldn't get out of bed. Yeah. I could not get out of bed. I was dealing with perimenopause and my son's behaviour, issues, and I just thought it was too much, and I couldn't get out of bed. No. And how did I find, the space or to heal with that? I was very upfront. I said, I am very sad every morning. I was just crying, but I was very, outspoken with what I needed at that time, and it was, I just need to stop working and have time for me. And I did a lot of, going into nature, walking. Yeah. I forgot to journal. I do have a journal. I think it does work. It helps. It helps so much. So for people that don't believe that, it does work. It does work. Absolutely, it works. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I love it. I think it's really important to just bring back to things that you enjoy. Yeah. Bring back to that. And you don't have to push yourself all the time. Your business will still be there. Yeah. And when you're working in this type of community, people do understand. I find the best things come from your own vulnerability. So if I'm feeling really burnt out and I need a bit of a break, I'll just go on there and I'll just say, look guys, I'll be back. I just need to take a few days because this has all just gotten a bit much for me. And I need to take some time to process and just look after myself. I'll be back. Yeah. And the community is understanding of that because the neurodivergent community, they understand. They understand that they go through it too, and this is what we need sometimes, and it's okay. I feel like a lot of guilt goes into needing a break or needing to do some self-care or needing to look after yourself. There's just this awful stigma around mums doing that, and there shouldn't be. And even sometimes our own script in our head where we push ourselves. Yes. Like, oh, I can do this and I can do that. Yeah. But then we'll get that guilt I can't do it. Or
especially if you're committed to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's better just to be vulnerable and say, I can't do this. I'm about to, go into a meltdown or a meltdown, burnout. Yeah. And then go, I need some time off. Yeah. I think that's...
But, and I think some people that absolutely would have a meltdown. if it gets too much, that can be led to God, yes. But it can be both, right? Yeah.
So what are your hopes and dreams for your son or for the neurodivergent community? Or your future dreams?
Yeah. So I would just love to see the world accept neurodivergent people just like they accept neurotypical people, just for it just to be so normalised for things to be done differently.
Yeah.
And there to be more inclusive options for neurodivergent people, where we can just come and be who we are as the awesome humans that we are, without the, like, I guess it's almost, there's almost some shame around asking for it at the moment, because it still can be seen as something that's kind of that you have to ask for, or like people have to make accommodations, and that can, for some people, can be too hard to ask for that and to stand up for themselves and advocate for themselves. So I just love to live in a world where being neurodivergent is just normalised, and it's just part of their everyday life, that people understand autism and ADHD and other neurodivergences. It's just normal, just like being neurotypical is.
And in my personal view, I feel like there's more neurodivergent people than neurotypical.
Yeah.
And I think, once we all kind of know that you know, the community will be, I suppose, wider or widespread as well about having this education, or in the future about our children, you know, or even just, you know, things about the education about ADHD, where, you know, for a profile of a boy, you know what a profile of an ADHD boy, but what girls are completely different.
That's right. Well, my daughter she's 10 now. She wasn't diagnosed until she was 8. And her brother had been here for a number of years before she was diagnosed. He was diagnosed for a number of years before her, and I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
It's just that the girl presentation is so different, right?
Yeah. My daughter just got recently diagnosed this year, and she turned 18, and she got diagnosed with ADHD. And I was like, where did that come from? What?
Yeah.
How? But however, I always did think she was very creative in how she saw the world, and I was like, as a child, I thought, I love how you see the world. Just don't change your mind. Like, don't think that that's not normal. That is you, and that's just embrace who you are. And when I said that to her, she said that she used to think she was weird, but when I said that to her, she said, that really stuck with me, and she embraced that.
Yeah, I love that.
But she's, you know, she did grieve a little bit, where she's like, I could have, you know, maybe my schooling could have been easier if I would have been diagnosed in school or earlier. But now you kind of just, I kind of just teach just to advocate for herself and put supports in place. You know, she's a very shy child as well. Right. So that's where you have to kind of.
And it's hard, and this is what I talk about. Some people, it's just too hard for them to advocate for themselves. So someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah.
And seeing other people do it, then they can maybe join in. Not necessarily just go full blown and do it for themselves, but they can have a voice through other people.
Yeah, I feel that connection as well. I think that,
and feel validated for their feelings.
Yeah. So Paige, where do you see the advocacy movement going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, as obviously a mum of neurodivergent children, but also someone who's neurodivergent myself, I have an ADHD diagnosis.
Was that a late diagnosis?
It was, only this year. I
was
diagnosed.
Really?
Yeah, just in April, I think. Yeah, I was diagnosed. I was the last one in my family to be diagnosed. We're all
Yes, you get all your kids diagnosed first, and then mum's the last one.
And my husband was diagnosed as well, but he was diagnosed a few years ago, and then it was like, I just more and more seen my own traits. Like, okay, we should probably do something about this. And then as I was talking to therapists and like my son's medical team and stuff, I'd ask them, do you think I'm and they'd be like, yes, Paige, come on, like be real. So I got myself assessed this year. But as a neurodivergent woman, a mum of neurodivergent kids, I would love to see change in every aspect of our children's lives, like in the education department. I would love to see, like I said before, classrooms specifically for our autistic kids. I would love to see everyone just kind of know about autism, it not be this stigmatized thing, which it is getting better. It is more known about now, but just more, not just awareness, but understanding.
Yeah.
Especially within those, the education department, the medical system, NDIS. So you'd think that they would know, right? But a lot of the time, they don't. Just more.
Would you like to see more? What's it called? Consultation with advocates.
Absolutely. So it's like that. Nothing about me without me. I would absolutely love to see more of the autistic community included. Well, it should be the autistic community that makes these decisions and consults on the way that things should be, right? And that taken more seriously. So something that concerns me is the autism office that was created by the government is not now led by autistic voices. So these places, there should be more of these places, and they should be fully led by autistic people. So that the right people are consulting on all of these sorts of things. Absolutely. And then with all of the systems, like hearing the voices of parents going through it, of autistic advocates, of the therapists that work with these children, like let's get their voices in, not the voices that work in the offices and think they know. Get the voices of the people that actually know and do this all day, every day.
That would be so fantastic.
The difference that could be made then would make an impact.
So you're also, because we're doing the Neurodivergent Women in Business event in Gawler, the first one. So you are the first presenter. So what would you be? Because you'll be talking about advocacy as well.
Yes. I will. So I will be talking about how you can find your inner advocate and advocate for yourself, your children, your business as a neurodivergent person, and how you can build that confidence to do so in a number of different ways.
And it's also, for me as well, I would see it as it would be a space to connect with other mums as well.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest thing. Connection. Connection is everything. You have so much more confidence to do these things such as advocate when you have the right connections. Because those people will cheer you on, they will support you, they will stand with you, that you won't feel like you're on your own.
If someone wants to contact you, where would they go?
So typically people will contact me through my Instagram account, that's just Inclusive Oak. Otherwise you can contact me through my website, there's a little contact me section there. There's also, if you're more interested in the advocacy stuff that I'm doing, there is an advocacy page on my website where you could submit your stories, submit any documentation you have or correspondence that you think is, would be worth including. You can remain anonymous, but you can also use your name as well, and just share your stories so that will help the movement move forward.
And share maybe perhaps your page with other mums or other people that could help this?
Yes, absolutely. The more people we can contact and the more people we can get on board, the more chance we have of change.
I love that. I want to thank you for making the time to do this interview. I've really enjoyed it, and I love advocates. I think, for me, I'm your ally. I don't want to be behind you. I want to help you with your voice as well. It's, for me, I just felt like I could, just knowing that, I'm a mum to a neurodivergent child and how I need to support my child is very important, but just to be feeling connected to someone and just that understanding is really, really important.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. And thanks for tuning in. Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye.
Bye.